Hello everybody and welcome to Islamophobia Awareness Month. But we've still got 16 lovely days to go, so I trust you're looking for some more wisdom. On a more serious note, obviously there is some forms of Islamophobia, often called anti-Muslim hate, which is unacceptable. Gratuitous use of the P word, violence, ripping women's hijabs off, and I've seen some very unsavoury and nasty racist comments on social media. But as a generalisation, it's backfired spectacularly this year. People have been taken to acts, particularly to criticise some of the attitudes that the Muslims have in this country. One of the things, probably one of the most major objections, is their ability to play the cry bully. Now, they like giving stick out, and they like getting sort of trying to assert themselves. But the minute you fight back, they play the victim and start crying and what have we.
And let me tell you one thing: the officer that kicked that kid in the head and tried to kill him, when he's not in his uniform and he's out on the street, he's just one of us. So unless you deal with him, we will. I'm telling you, we will. We saw you. We know you're in there. Come out, explain yourself. Why has only one officer been suspended? What about the rest of them?
It really is quite horrible. And also, what we've seen recently is, not only are they ungrateful about some aspects of Western liberal democracy, they're also many are actually openly hostile to a way of life. If you look at the Palestinian demonstrations on a Saturday afternoon, they really have been quite appalling. From the genocidal, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
It really is probably the most obnoxious thing I've heard for many a year. And if we look at some of the aspects of Islam in Britain, since 2000 there's been 100 terrorist murders. 97 were committed by Muslims. Also on MI5's watch list are 39,000 Muslims, and only something like in the region of 4,000 non-Muslims. That they comprise 90% of the people who are thought to be potential terrorists. 5% are far right, 5% are far left. And also on top of that, because of the response to terrorism, we have all these lovely diversity barriers festooning our high streets and monuments, obviously to stop a car crashing into people.
See what these are? You obviously understand what these are.
What are these?
These are diversity barriers.
These?
Well, they're to stop terrorist attacks.
It's real?
I'm not joking. They're diversity barriers. This will go straight back up now, and these are to stop cars coming through and mowing everyone down.
Okay.
And we have these in every town centre. You know, our Christmas markets now are literally just entire things like this, fortified to get anywhere near the Christmas market because they expect cars to come flying into them. So, as I said, the more Islam, the less freedom.
And surely the most disgusting thing I saw recently was at the cenotaph, whereby people had to go through metal detectors to make sure they weren't carrying anything sharp or whatever. That really is quite bad. The other aspect which really rankles with a lot of people in this country are grooming gangs. For 20, 30 years, mainly Pakistani heritage men abused girls from the age of 6 to 15, and who were mainly white. And this was covered up by the police, the local authorities, the council and social services. It really was one of the most appalling cover-ups in the history of Britain. And it's only really the last sort of 10 years or so that people have got on top of it. It has caused great resentment in this country for two reasons. Two reasons they covered it up. One was because they didn't want to be called racist, and the other one being the Labour Party particularly relied upon the Muslim bloc vote in their wards and constituencies. It's not only that, when it comes to sort of general Western liberal values, like, for example, homosexuality, a poll in 2016 into attitudes of British Muslims found something like 52% would like to see homosexual acts made illegal. compares to 8% of the general population. Then we have the case of the Batley grammar school teacher. He told his class he was going to show them a image of Muhammad, and if they were going to be offended, they were welcome to leave the classroom. None did. And anyway, some of the local Islamists got hold of this, and like a baying mob, they ended up outside the school, and for 3 years the poor teacher has been in hiding, unable to show his face in public. It's also led to a lot of resentment in this country. Those two-tier policing, whereby if you're white, you are held to a different standard, which in itself is racist. I'm sure there are many Muslim people in this country who adhere to equal standards to everybody else in this country. But the point is, we have a ridiculous situation whereby people in the Southport-inspired riots, there were British people who were jailed for 3 years or more, like Wayne O'Rourke, for off-colour social media posts. Whilst, for example, the Manchester airport thugs have still yet to be charged 115 days later. So that's horrible. And the other thing that probably is rankling with other people in the recent news is Amsterdam, whereby a load of Muslims in the match between Ajax and Maccabi Tel Aviv, Jewish supporters were hunted down like dogs. Like on Kristallnacht in Germany in 1938, and they were beaten unconscious and generally defiled in the street. The riots are still going on, despite the fact that all the Jewish people have left there. And also, as well, it's 9 years since the Bataclan massacre, where 130 people died in and around 90 died at Bataclan, and the remainder of other terrorist attacks in Paris around that time. I think at least 3 of the Bataclan terrorists came in via dinghies via Greece to get their asylum in France and to arrive in the city. So there we have it. We have that's wrapping up on Islamophobia Awareness Month. As I say, one of my major objections is, and if I can sum it up in this respect, is I've asked loads of people from the Muslim and non-Muslim community, where is the line between legitimate criticism of an ideology that is both secular and also religious? Where is the line between Islamophobia and legitimate criticism of Islam? No one's yet has been able to tell me that. It's basically because they want to shut us all down and keep us all quiet and stop criticising Islam.